gonna be a beautiful day.
But yeah, I started off just 7 years ago wanting to raise food for myself. We started, I think, with like 100 broiler chickens, a few lambs, and 7 acres and a dream. That year, we raised Thanksgiving dinner for my entire family out of the garden. We had 3 turkeys named Thanksgiving, Backup, and Christmas.
After that Thanksgiving dinner, Covey Rise Farms began to take shape. And today, Charlie and Carissa direct market 100% of what they raise.
The environmental concern, I'd say, is big for you. Like you want to like heal the soil. Like that's like he gets so excited like walking out to the pasture and like seeing like new grass grow. Like I don't know, like different. Like he gets so excited. Like he just nerds out, and I just love watching it. So he's very passionate about soil health.
Tell me about it.
We did not plan to have a baby. Quite yet. We had definitely wanted to expand our family, but they kind of took us by surprise. Especially being pregnant, Charlie took on a lot more responsibility, and that was hard. I think hard for me to deal with too. I think just because we were like, I guess, a team. We're equal partners, right? Like we can't do this without each other.
Dr. Shoshana Inwood, an associate professor in the School of Environment and Natural Resources, recently did a study about childcare on farms. She says that Carissa's experience is a very common one and is probably the dominant story of what happens in agriculture.
One of the things that we heard from farm families across the country, especially those with young children, is needing to make some very hard decisions and cost calculations about, do I invest my time and energy into growing my farming operation? But who's going to watch the kids? And when I look at the cost of childcare, that's really expensive. And in order to pay for that, I'm likely going to need an off-farm job.
I mean, probably the biggest terrifying part of all of it is, just the financial implications. Carissa still has an off-farm job that pretty much she maintains 90%, if we're honest, for benefits and insurance. And going back to work once her maternity time's over is going to be really tough because we're going to have to figure out childcare. As much as I would love to say that, oh yeah, so you'll just ride around with me all day, that's not realistic with an infant.
And insurance is expensive. I mean, we're growing a farm from nothing. We put all this here, even fencing. So, I mean, for us to have to build a farm from scratch is hard enough. And then adding in the fact of what happens if we have a huge hospital bill? How are we going to, combat that? What happens if he cuts himself? We have to have insurance. And that terrifies me not having that. And then finding a job that would offer us insurance for now Sadie too. And then me also being able to still work on the farm it's a lot.
Farmers really want the nation to pay attention to these issues of health insurance and childcare, to recognize that these are real economic development issues and real quality of life issues. And for them to keep doing their jobs, we need to figure out ways that makes health insurance more affordable, that makes childcare more affordable.
The hope is, I think too, is Sadie won't have to deal hopefully with as much of the pressure of the finances. Yeah. Hopefully we can get to the point where it's stable, because right now it's constantly
we're one disaster away from bankruptcy half the time, it feels like.
I mean, if you make one mistake, we don't want her to have that pressure. So I mean, I think that's hard too, is to know that
American dream.
Yeah, if you make one mistake, you could lose it all. There's no backup plan. And then at that time it's heartbreaking too, because I can't imagine living any other way.